One got knocked down, he won't get up again. The other went knocked him down. One got knocked down, and now he's fucking dead. The other went knocked him out. Combo breaker!
Martial arts, one of the coolest things ever, and true masters can still beat your ass even when they're put at a disadvantage. You know, like their arm tied behind their back, or maybe they like block their eyes or something, they can still kick your ass. But today's fighters have learned to fight with their blindness. That's right, today we have a badass matchup between Kenshi, the blind mortal combatant, and Matthew Murdock, the Daredevil. Mortal Kombat X. That game is definitely fair and balanced, except for Kenshi, that mother... And his possessed form is so cheap, you can just spam the sickle demon across the goddamn map repeatedly, and there's nothing you can do unless you're playing Scorpion, but then you just spam teleports. Maybe you have Goro and you spam jumps. That game, dear God, is so easily spammable and broken. But you know what? We're not here to talk about the game, we're here to talk about Kenshi. So Kenshi actually has super enhanced senses thanks to his spirits that pretty much guide him in combat. He also has telekinesis using the spirit energy, which is basically that ki, and he can create telekinetic versions of himself out of this ki telekinetic ability thing. He can also attack his foes from a distance using these telekinetic clones, and he can teleport, sense ki energy, and even summon a sickle-wielding demon to do attacks for him. He wields his iconic sword that contains the spirits of past warriors, and while most of his special moves are self-explanatory, and he does do some pretty stupid ones, he does have one hell of a fatality that I should mention just because it's freaking amazing and my favorite one in the game, called Telecopter. He throws his sword in the air, uses his telekinesis to spin it at high speeds, then lifts his foe with telekinesis and slowly pushes them through it, pretty much blending them into a paste. Oh god, it's so vicious. Now, Kenshi's strong enough to fight Takashi as well, and he's even overpowered and beaten Nightwolf. He's kept up with Takashi's felt reptile who can dodge gunfire. He's survived attacks from Mavado, Takashi, and even Nightwolf, and he's a skilled warrior and an expert swordsman. He's taken on other skilled warriors despite his blindness, and he's capable of fighting on a high level. And while some would say his blindness is actually a weakness, his spirits and his enhanced senses do make up for this tenfold. Daredevil. This guy's an interesting one because his powers only exist because he's blind, which is quite the odd way to get your powers if you think about it. So despite his blindness, he actually has ridiculous powers. His other senses have been heightened to ridiculous heights. He has a sonar sense, which is basically radar, and Stan Lee has confirmed his senses are better than Spider-Man's spider sense. Yeah, that's ridiculous. He can also regenerate and even absorb Ghost Rider's Hellfire. He wields a specially modified billy club, which has a grappling hook inside, made of aircraft control cable with a steel hook. He also has a spring. It's also spring loaded, and it can split into two parts: a baton for melee combat and a bladed hook weapon for murder. Daredevil is constantly able to harm and fight the Punisher. He's fought a restricted Ghost Rider and other heroes like Luke Cage and even Iron Fist. He's dodged bullets and in milliseconds, and he's blitzed Iron Fist and even Spider-Man, who's fought Electro, who can launch lightning at him. He's also endured pretty much ridiculous shit like nitroglycerin explosions. He's taken napalm explosions to the face with only damage to his costume. He survived falling onto a car from several stories upwards, and he's kept up with Spider-Man in combat. That's some crazy shit for just a guy who's blind. Daredevil is also a master of multiple martial arts, as well as the legal system, being a criminal defense attorney, and he's able to protect his own civilian identity with next to no one being able to figure it out. But he does have his weaknesses. Loud noises and overpowering smells can mess with his super senses, causing him to pretty much lose what makes him able to fight at such a high level. Daredevil is walking through town when a sword slashes from behind him. Daredevil narrowly dodges and turns around. Kenshi is standing there holding his blade. Kenshi rushes over and slashes his blade at the side, and Daredevil slashes his blade from the side, and Daredevil jumps over the blade and kicks Kenshi, but his foot is blocked by a glowing blue clone of himself. Daredevil lands and Kenshi sheaths his blade and runs over and kicks him, but Daredevil dodges to the left and hits him with a billy club and follows up with a sucker punch. Kenshi stumbles back as Daredevil spins and kicks him in the head. A demon appears behind Daredevil and slashes his sickle up at Daredevil, who barely dodges and wraps his billy club around the sickle and disarms the demon before throwing the sickle at Kenshi. Kenshi blocks the sword and is met with a hook through his arm. Daredevil then forcibly rips his billy club hook back, ripping off Kenshi's arm. Kenshi summons a demon again, who hits Daredevil in the gut. Kenshi rushes over and knees him in the gut. He then draws his blade and stabs Daredevil in the side. Daredevil backs up and covers his wound with his hands. Kenshi runs over at Daredevil and dashes past him and wraps his billy club string around his neck and starts to strangle Kenshi, who stabs his sword through both of them. Daredevil then grabs his sword, spins it around, and cuts Kenshi's head clean off. Our winner is Daredevil, and oh boy, this match was actually pretty close. So the matchup with both combatants being blind and having super senses, well, Daredevil's is way better, as Stan Lee has confirmed that his radar is better than Spider-Man's spider sense. While Kenshi's is good, it's not good enough to be able to keep up with something that's superior to Spider-Man's. Now, speed, both Kenshi and Daredevil fight people who can dodge bullets like Reptile, and even Spider-Man who dodges machine gun bullets regularly, so that's hypersonic, except when you look at the fact that since Daredevil can fight Spider-Man who dodges lightning, that makes him massively hypersonic, giving him a huge speed edge. Now it's time for strength and durability. Well, Daredevil is a town-level fighter, as he's gone toe-to-toe with Spider-Man and even a restricted Ghost Rider, whereas Kenshi has only fought Nightwolf and a few other people, putting him at multi-city block. So with superior super senses, superior strength and durability, and pretty much superior speed as well, it's easy to see why Daredevil takes the win. But in case you need just a little bit more, experience-wise, Kenshi's never fought someone like Daredevil, whereas Daredevil's fought people like Iron Fist who have key abilities and other powers similar to Kenshi, as we've seen him fight people with telekinetic powers as well. So his powers may not be anything too new for Daredevil, but Daredevil's fighting style and weaponry is going to be something completely new for Kenshi to have to deal with. Really, Kenshi shouldn't have dared to fight this devil. Our winner is Daredevil. Next time on Combo Breaker. Man, I love treasure hunting, and since I already did Nathan Drake versus Lara Croft, it's time to have that victor fight the OG treasure hunter. That's right, we've got Nathan Drake versus Indiana Jones. First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.